Hey there guys, I am Sonic Ghost, and welcome to Let's Play Pikmin. Originally released for the Nintendo GameCube in 2001 as a launch title for the Purple Lunchbox, Pikmin is a very revolutionary game that Nintendo released so many years ago. This originally started as a tech demo actually, named Super Mario 128. This was shown at Space World 2000, running on the Nintendo GameCube to show the power of the console. The tech demo had multiple Marios on screen all at once, upwards of 128 Marios. Now, while this title didn't go anywhere, the demo itself was used for multiple games going forward, including Pikmin. The concept of having multiple people on screen all at once to control was a concept that Shigeru Miyamoto liked so much that he pushed for the game to be made as a standalone title known as Pikmin on the Nintendo GameCube. This is a game I've played a lot over the years, and in fact, this was one of my very first Let's Plays here on YouTube. It was a Let's Play that was kind of rough around the edges, so within the first year, I actually re-recorded the entire game. So this essentially is my third time playing it on the internet, but there's been a lot of new information found over the years about Pikmin, and we have a brand new release of the game to play via the Nintendo Switch re-release. This is the version I'll be playing for this Let's Play, but this game was also released on the Nintendo Wii, which is the version I played many years ago, and in some ways I still kind of feel that's the definitive version of Pikmin to play due to the controls, but the Switch version is a great version of Pikmin to pick up and play, especially with how well this controls. Whether you want to use the standard GameCube style control scheme, or if you want to play with motion control like how it plays with the newer Pikmin games on the Switch, I just kind of recommend people nowadays to pick up Pikmin on the Nintendo Switch. It's still a game that holds up well today, and I'm very excited to jump back into the world of Pikmin. My name is Captain Olimar. While traveling through space, my ship was struck by a meteor. I must have blacked out, and I woke on the surface of a weird planet. With so many parts lost, the skeletal hull of my beloved dolphin is a painful sight. The engine is gone. I'm stranded. To make matters worse, my atmospheric sensors indicate this planet's environment contains high levels of poisonous oxygen. My life support systems can function for only 30 days. If I can't repair the dolphin by then... No! Better not think about it. I must find the missing ship parts. And thus, our journey begins here on this mysterious planet. Walking forward here, we see an interesting object buried in the ground, and getting close to it, it sprouts up and turning a bright shade of red, spitting out a interesting looking little thing. A strange thing has appeared before me. I had barely begun my search when it reared up as if it were waiting for me. It then dropped a single seed. What is it? Is it alive? Is it a machine? It resembles a vegetable on my home planet that we call an onion. I shall call this an onion too. So out of the onion came this little seed. Gotta sit here, wait a moment, because after a short amount of time, the seed will sprout up a little leaf. The seed that the onion dropped took root in the soil and has now produced an adorable little sprout. This sprout emits a strange light and it sways back and forth without benefit of wind. I cannot help but think it is calling to me. I am compelled. I must approach it and press A. Let's go ahead and do just what Olimar says. Pressing the A button in front of this sprout pulls up a interesting looking creature. Extraordinary! When I plucked the sprout, it turned out to be a living creature, not a plant. Picking it has done no visible damage. It just stands there, staring at me. Its shape is similar to the Pick brand carrots that I love so much. I believe I should call it a Pikmin. Here I am, stranded on a toxic planet, fighting to survive, and yet I'm intrigued. I must research this fascinating creature. I shall try to grab it and throw it with A, and I will call to my side with B. Perhaps it will react to pressing X or moving the right stick while holding L as well. The following controls appear to allow me several viewpoints. Pressing the ZL button will snap the camera behind Olimar. The right stick moving left or right will rotate the camera. Pressing the ZR button will zoom in and out of the camera's view. And pressing up and down on the right stick will change your perspective. I must survive. I need to familiarize myself with these controls and my surroundings. Thankfully here, we have more than enough time to figure out how this game will control and also our said surroundings here for our good pal Olimar. So we can see we can throw this Pikmin at a plant. It will try to damage the plant, but if we throw it right at where that number sign is, the Pikmin will destroy it instantaneously and bring that little item to its onion. Astounding! The onion has sown more seeds. The small red pellet the Pikmin harvested after cutting down a flower appears to be some type of food that can propagate more Pikmin. The onion seems to be a sort of incubator. Needless to say, I must study this strange life form more. So, we want to go ahead and grab these red pellets and let our Pikmin bring it back to the onion. Doing so, now the onion will absorb the pellet and spit out more Pikmin. Because we are bringing back red pellets to red onion, notice how we're getting 2 different Pikmin out of the said onion instead of 1, even though it has a 1 on the said pellet. Bringing a pellet of the same color back to an onion of that same said color will multiply its value, so a 1 pellet will give you 2 different Pikmin. I want to go over here, as we can see there is a 5 pellet, and the only way to get that is to use 5 different Pikmin. So throw 5 Pikmin at the 5 pellet, and now these 5 will be able to carry it back to its said onion. So this area here is a great use of just all the different controls that Olimar has. It's a great time while we're just waiting for the Pikmin to bring back stuff to the onion to mess around with different controls, like zooming in and out of the camera, moving the camera around with the right stick here, and just experimenting with things in general. I'm also playing with the motion controls here with the Nintendo Switch version, so anytime I hold down either the B or the A button, my motion controls will activate, and now I can move the controller to also move my cursor, which is very similar to the Wii version's controls, as the Nintendo Wii port of this game actually lets you use your pointer controls on the Wii to move around the cursor on the screen, independently of Olimar, which was a really fun way of playing the game, and still my preferred way of playing Pikmin. While I do like the Switch port here of this version of the game, kind of simplifying the controls between the GameCube release and the Wii release, modernizing it in such a way where it plays like the brand new Pikmin 4 release on the system, I still prefer the original game's control via the Wii version, just simply due to all the flexibility that that version allows you to have with the cursor moving independently of Olimar. Not to say that the newer control scheme of this game via the Switch port is bad or anything, far from it. This is still a really solid version of the game, and a version I recommend anyone nowadays to pick up and play, especially if they never played a Pikmin game before. But over here, we got a box that has the number 10 on it, which means that if we try to swarm a Pikmin to it, now we can push this, as you need 10 Pikmin in total to actually push the box. So now these 10 Pikmin are just pushing it to the other side of the field here, which conveniently for us not only moves it out of our way, but also makes a little bridge that we can cross later on. The Pikmin are as curious as children. They form groups to perform tasks that would be impossible for an individual. A glimmer of hope has begun to shine in my heart. If I can make use of their skills, perhaps I can fix my ship. I shall sum up all I've learned of Pikmin conduct. Approach and hold A to pick up sprouts. Press A to grab Pikmin. Release to throw. Press B to call them. X to dismiss. Move the right stick while holding L to command and control the group. Use ZL or up, down, left, and right on the right stick to control perspective. And now I shall record all this in my computer and access it with the plus button. So if we hit the plus button, this is all we can see for right now. We can see how many Pikmin are following Olimar, how many are at the said onion, how many Pikmin are freed up in the field, how many ship arcs we collected in total, and the area we are in. If we hit right on the D-pad, we can see all the controls here in the Switch version of Pikmin, and you can also turn on and off the motion controls by just pressing the minus button. As said earlier, I am playing with the motion on, so I'm going to leave that alone. So let's go ahead and grab our Pikmin, and over here, I see our very first ship part. Let's go to it. Amazing! There's no mistaking it. My ship's engine rests before my very eyes. By a stroke of pure luck, I have already stumbled upon the most important piece of my damaged craft. Fate has smiled upon me, but how will I get it back to the dolphin? Well, it's cool we found the engine and all, but there's a little bit of an issue. It requires 20 Pikmin to carry, and we only have 14. So we can't get the ship part just yet, but thankfully for us, there are more pellets just all around the area here. So we want to grab these said pellets and bring them back to the onion. Now, these pellets require a certain amount of Pikmin to carry, but that doesn't mean that's all you can actually put on the said pellets to carry things back. So notice how I got 6 Pikmin there on the 5 pellet, and now I can put more on to make this move faster. So I'm just going to throw my Pikmin here right in front of the said pellets, and now there are a total of 10 Pikmin carrying back that 5 pellet. But notice how I tried to put an 11th Pikmin on there and it wouldn't grab it. There is a cap of how many Pikmin can carry one object at a time. Normally, it's double the amount of what is on the said requirement. So a 5 pellet, you can double that, meaning 10 Pikmin in total can carry that said pellet back. Some items may not follow these exact same rules, but a majority of the things you'll be sending your Pikmin around to carry in the game. This is how it works. When many Pikmin seeds sprout at once, I find it rather tedious to pluck them from the ground individually. My wife always told me I was no good at routine tasks. I guess I'll try to get it all done at once by holding A until I pick all the Pikmin from the ground. I've noticed that when I add Pikmin to my group, they become filled with excitement and blush with bright color. At other times, they revert to a paler hue and give off a dim glow. Paying close attention to these differences is bound to help me distinguish between Pikmin. Olimar is correct on that. As we can see, when we dismiss our Pikmin, they are now a pinkish color, but we grab them, they turn red. This will tell you what Pikmin are in your party and which ones are just standing around doing nothing and waiting for a command. And just like Olimar said in that little bit of a text blog, we can hold down the A button here to pick all the Pikmin in an area that are ready to be harvested. Which is good because as a kid, I never really noticed that line because I kind of read through things fast as an impatient child. So I always mash the A button, which, to be fair, also works. But when you're done getting Pikmin, and you're just kind of standing there waiting to do something else, Olimar will start chucking the Pikmin around him, which sometimes could be a bad thing. So just hold down the A button and you'll be able to pick Pikmin out of the ground with no problem whatsoever. But now we have 25 Pikmin, the max that we can get at the moment here. We can swarm all those Pikmin on the engine and they'll bring it back to our ship. And since we have 5 more Pikmin on the engine than what it requires, the Pikmin move back slightly faster to their destination. But notice how they're not carrying the ship part over to the Onion to harvest more Pikmin. They're carrying it back to my ship. So, Pikmin grabbing ship parts will always take it back to the ship. And enemies / pellets, they will always take to their Onion to harvest more Pikmin. It's a good thing to distinguish because that'll tell you where your Pikmin will go when they're done with their tasks. There we go. We got back our first ship part, the engine. Now with the engine, our ship, while not fully restored to its glory, it at least has its main component back. So now we can use the ship and fly out of here. Oh, glorious. With the help of these Pikmin, I've taken a huge step back towards home. My ship can once again lift off. The glimmer of hope is beginning to burn more brightly. What has become of the remaining parts? That search starts tomorrow. Now that we got the engine back, it is nighttime. We cannot stay on the planet's surface at night, so we need to get into our ship and fly up into the sky. But when we leave, notice how all the Pikmin go back to their Onion, because the Pikmin also cannot stay on the planet's surface. They also need to follow us up into the sky, because any Pikmin left behind at night will be attacked by enemies roaming in the area. So let's get out of here and fly up into the sky. One day since impact, I have somehow managed to launch the Dolphin, but I was surprised to see the Onion lift off with me. Perhaps the Pikmin cannot survive overnight on the planet's surface, or have they merely decided to join me for other reasons? Either way, it seems they will help me again tomorrow. The Dolphin is missing 29 parts. If I can't recover them all, I may never return home to my family on planet Hocotate. Now to show life support systems will function for only 29 more days. How can I repair my Dolphin in such a short time? A dense forest is visible on the surface below. As it holds the key to my survival, I'll name it the Forest of Hope. I'll explore it tomorrow. At the end of every day here in Pikmin, we'll get its stats screen here telling us how many Pikmin we raised, how many we lost in battle, how many have been left behind, the ship parts we collected, the total amount of Pikmin we have in our party. It's a nice little overview of how well you've done in a day or how bad you've done in certain situations. But let's go ahead and save our game from here. And now, with our first ship part collected, a new area has opened up to us, the Forest of Hope. And notice here, parts in this area, we have a lot of stars down there. But if we go back over to the impact site, as we can go back to where we first landed here, there's one star glowing, but another one that is not. So, we still have business left in the impact site, but we can't do anything else in that area at the current moment. For now, we must head over to the Forest of Hope and start collecting ship parts here. And we'll be doing that in the next episode. Next time on Let's Play Pikmin, we'll head into the Forest of Hope and start exploring this new area. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.